the entry cost is £400.
Is that
Right.
per vehicle
Now,
or per person?
if you've got 4 people in the car, £100 each. What we look at is that people sit there and say, well, what's the £400 for? We get asked that question so many times. And basically, your entrance fee covers all the administration costs.
Hi, welcome back to the podcast. This one's a bit of a special episode. It's not one for me. It's for the Veterans Honour Rally. And we're here to discuss the Bosnia or Bust Rally next year. So from Calais to Sarajevo, which I'm very interested in doing. And I've got Andy Wild, who's the director of the charity and helps organise the rally. Hiya, Andy. How are you doing?
Not so bad yourself. How are you?
I'm great, mate. Thanks for coming on and doing this. I think it's a good idea to get the information out there to try and get more people on, if we can, and more people who attend the rally. I don't know nothing. Imagine I don't know nothing about the rally because it's true.
So
I know nothing about the rally.
Me to sell it to you.
I want you to sell it to me and explain to me the costs, how much I'm going to end up out of pocket, because I know I will. But it's not about that. It's not about the cost. It's about doing it and giving a bit back.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody does these things for profit. Nobody works for a charity or does anything for charity for a profit. So, I mean, the Veterans Honour Rally, where did that start and how did you get involved in it?
Well, basically, I am not a veteran. I've not served or anything. But about just after COVID, a gentleman come to me I'm a graphics designer and I do all sorts of vehicle livery and things like that. And this gentleman approached me and said, look, I run this charity. I need some graphics doing on my car. And I was like, not a problem. So I've always had a great respect for veterans, the armed forces and everything. It's not something that, just because I'm not a serving or been a serving member, I have huge respect. And he came to me and he was ex-Royal Navy. And I said to him, look, what is it that you do? And at the time, it was known as the banger rallies. They were just known as banger rallies. And he got a group of people together and he would just go. They did the first one they did in the UK. I wasn't involved in that one. That was just a year after COVID. But then he said to me, he says, what we're doing this year, he says, it's a group of us going from all around the UK down to Gibraltar. And I went, yeah, I thought, what, over like a couple of weeks? And he went, no, we do it in a week. And I was like, what, you're going to... And he says, and the thing was, you got to go with a car that's not worth no more than £500. And I actually sat there and I went, how many cars are actually going to bloody make it then? You know, and he said, well, hopefully we want them all. So I wrote his vehicle for him and I said, look, I'll sponsor your vehicle for you to, and anything that needs to be done, sign-wise or flyers or anything. And by the time we finished, the whole car was just covered. And the first year when they did the UK one, he did it in a stretched American limo. And the guys that did it with him on that one were all dressed as Men in Black. You know, so it was really quirky. And then the one that I did, he come to me, and it was a Jaguar estate. And I looked at it and I'm like, it's black. Let's paint the doors white. And I turned it into an old style American cop car. And we had the blue flashing lights and everything, the whole shebang, sheriff badges on the door, everything. And it was, and that's how basically, so that went off to Gibraltar and it got there. Don't ask me how, but it did get there. Come back and he said, right, what a great success. That year they did it for Safa. He says, I want to do it again next year. And I went, right, okay. And he says, would you be involved? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'll just do your signs for you. Or I'll sponsor the car. He went, no. He says, would you help me run it? And I was like, yeah, go on then. And I didn't realise what I'd let myself into. You know, and I mean, it takes 12 months. As soon as you finish one, 12 months, you're straight on organising the next year. So we did another Gibraltar one. He'd like to go back to Gibraltar. So we said, right, okay. So I did the Facebook pages, I did all the posts, the designs, everything, and helped him out. And again, in 23, it went off from the UK down to Gibraltar again. And another huge success, and they did that one for the blind veterans and raised lots of money. And at the end of in Gibraltar, he turned around and he rang me. He says, mate, he says, I've done 3 of them now. He says, and it really does take a lot of time up.
I can imagine.
And he just said, look, he says, I can't do another one. He says, do you want to take it over? And I'm like, what do you mean take it over? And he says, do you want to do it? He says, you know what we're about, you know what? And I was thinking, right. And I said, go on then. I'll see if I can assemble a team and we'll do it. Over the course of, so I took over in October 23, and I got a committee together, and we said, look, let's bring it back to the UK for 24, because a lot of people were saying that it was like the credit crunch. People just couldn't afford to keep buying these second-hand cars, and you know. And I got together with a lovely lady who's actually one of the directors again this year. Well, for next year, I should say. And she turned around and I said, look, this is what I'm thinking, is that we don't want to call it the Banger Rally anymore, because we were getting a lot of people sitting there and saying, I just can't afford to buy a car. You know, I can't afford, it's another set of insurance, it's another road tax, another. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what? Let's open it up. And John, who did the first 2, he did it where it was just, you either had to be a serving veteran or you're serving or being a veteran. And I thought, well, I was getting a lot of emails and people were saying, look, I'm not a veteran, but I lost my brother in Afghanistan. I've lost my sister in Iraq. My dad was in the Falklands. You know, and I thought, ooh, light bulb moment. And I was like, right, okay. And we decided that as long as there was some sort of association to the forces, i.e., a brother, a sister, uncle, auntie, granddad, no matter what war, you know, you could come onto the rally. Because at the end of the day, we are still honouring the veterans, we're still honouring the serving members. And that just catapulted. It opened the field up, and I came up with the name, the Veterans Honour Rally. And we took away the banger side, and people were saying, well, I don't want to buy a car. So I turned around and said, well, look, on this one, in the UK, you can do it in a banger if you want. You can do it in your family car. You can do it in a supercar. You can even do it on a bloody motorbike. I'm not bothered, as long as the awareness of it is out there. And that is basically how the Veterans Honour Rally then formed. And we decided to plan, and September last year, it came to a head. And we had probably about 18 teams for the UK. And it wasn't as big as what we normally take to Gibraltar, but it was still 18 teams. It was a new thing. People thought, well, let's give it a go. And we started off at the National Arboretum. And we then went on day 1, on the Monday. We then went on the Monday from the Arboretum, and they had to get to Skegness. Right? So it was about a 2.5, 3 hour drive, because we were at the Arboretum and we did a memorial service at the Arboretum. We got a police escort out of the Arboretum, and we then went down to Skegness, and we went to Skegness Speedway. And there's videos out there of all the veterans' cars rallying around the actual track. The guy who owned it absolutely. He said, look, just use the track. If you want to do 2-car races, I said, mate, luckily, we'll be lucky if one of these cars will even get round the track. And all these cars were kitted out vans. We had a transit. We had a transit there. We had a Vauxhall Vivaro. We had a Connect. Loads of different cars. And they just said, look, go for it. And it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then we went from Skegness down to a place called the Kitcheners in Lowestoft. Now, they're another veterans hotel. And, they've actually done, the year before, they did, the lads, Dwayne Ashworth and Richie Temple, they did the one to Gibraltar. Now, they did it in an old Trabant. The Trabant got from the UK to the south of France and give up.
I'm surprised it didn't get across the channel and give up.
Well, it got to France and it gave up. But luckily, they had a support vehicle because I think in their own minds they knew it weren't going to get.
I thought you were going to say they had a spare one.
No. So they had this support vehicle and they then obviously completed the rally. So last year we actually got the ladies Kitcheners team, and they were known as the Pink Ladies, and they were just hilarious from start to finish. Oh, it was just a blast with them. Everyone loved them. So that then meant that, but the ladies team actually completed last year's. They actually did it with no breakdowns, nothing. And it was it was a case of brilliant that, and they did it. So we went from, like I say, we went from the Arboretum over to Skegness down to Lowestoft, and then we did Lowestoft on the Wednesday down to Brighton. So then I'd never go to Brighton in a million years again. I don't know if you've ever been. Don't go. It's not worth it. Never
Apologies
again.
To anyone from Brighton.
Yeah, sorry if you're from Brighton, but wow, the parking issue in Brighton is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You just can't park. So we then went down to Brighton on the Wednesday, and then on the Wednesday we shot across over to Torquay. Now the times are getting long; it's becoming more of an.
That's a bit of a journey, that one,
Yeah, but it's still not the worst one. So got to Torquay Rugby Club. And we did that we got there for Thursday. And then Thursday, we had like every night we provided a bit of a venue and entertainment and such like. Went down a storm. And then Friday, they had to leave Torquay and drive all the way up to North Wales. And they had to drive up to Rhyl in North Wales by Friday tea time.
That's a journey.
It was 6 hours. And on that, we had, it's all over Facebook, people can find it. We had a 3-wheeler kitted out like Thunderbirds 4. You've got to find the pictures. And it did it. He went all round and he got up to, and Peter is an Chinook pilot. He's an ex-RAF Chinook pilot. And he does these rallies all year round. He does so many, it's unbelievable. And he does it in this 3-wheeler, and it just looks like a Thunderbird 4. He's kitted it out, and it looks like Thunderbird 4. It really grabs attention. So they got to Rhyl on Friday, and they thought that was the end of it. They'd finished the rally. Well, yeah, they had. But on the Saturday, I organised in Rhyl right along the prom. I had the RAF band there, Army, Navy, also all the forces, the police were there for us, the fire engines, and we had a massive parade right down the prom. Right, yeah, full-on parade right down the prom. And, we went onto a place called the Rhyl Arena, and it's just a massive showground. We went on there, and people could then get to speak to the people, see the cars and everything, and find out what it was about. But we did have a gentleman, a Chelsea pensioner called Chris O'Connor. Now, he did a hell of a lot of charity work. He was just renowned. He knew a lot of famous people. Linda Lusardi came to see him. There was so many. Some of the Strictly Come Dancing judges came to see. He was very well known. And he'd actually done every one of our rallies, right the way back to the Bangor rallies. He'd done every one, and he was ex-Remy. And he came to Rhyl last year. He thought he was just coming on the Saturday just to say hi, because he unfortunately become so ill he couldn't do it. But his daughters arranged for him to come up, and we placed him on the road, not literally on the road, but on a little island, and we actually, Mick Riley from Tommy's Lounge up north came down, and obviously he's an ex-RSM, and he did the march and everything to keep everybody in step. And basically, all the forces did an eyes right for Chris. And it was, even though this guy couldn't stand up here, I mean, he was really ill, he forced himself and he stood up and took the salute. And it was very, very emotional.
Imagine.
Unfortunately, after the rally, 2 weeks later, he passed. Now, I spoke to his daughter, and she said all he kept going on about for the 2 weeks after was, wow, I can't believe all them people did that for me. So he went up, and then obviously as he calmed down, unfortunately, he passed 2 weeks after it. And he's probably one of the more core people we honour in the rally. He's just always there. He's never going to be forgotten. Never. I mean, on the Saturday night when we had the finishers party, we actually had the brand new, at that time, he was Colonel Ian Wallace, the Corps Colonel from Remy came. And one of the captains, Captain Cy Parsons, came, and we honoured him that night. And it was about Chris that night. And the videos are there on YouTube from the gentleman called Dean Griffin, who's the travelling veteran. And it was just fantastic. It was a way of us giving back to what he's done. I mean, he's raised thousands and thousands. He took a car at his age. I mean, he was an oldish gentleman, and he would go over to the Ukraine, to a children's hospital, and take aid right whilst the conflict was going on. And no one could stop him. He did everything. So this is why within the rallies are there now, because we want to honour Chris as much as we can for what he did.
That makes sense,
yeah. So what happened, I mean, me and Michelle, who's one of the other directors, we were ill for 2 weeks after the rally last year, because we put so much into it. And it's not, when we're doing it and running it, you'll probably know yourself, you don't get a chance to relax. You're just going point A, point B, point C, point D, and we had to be there. And it takes it out of us. It's a 12-month in planning for 1 week, but it takes it out of us.
Imagine,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of logistics and everything involved in it, yeah.
Especially last year with the carnival and things like that. I mean, one of the worst things I got from Denbighshire County Council was I had to apply for a pee and poo licence. Yeah. A pee and poo licence. And all that was so they could open the public toilets.
You should have said, it's all right, we've got buckets.
Yeah, well, this is it, you see. Half of them said, well, we'll just have a pee in the van or something like that, but yeah. Me and Michelle decided last year that we would take a break from it. And that's just not happened.
I was going to say, that didn't go according to plan, did it?
We decided not to plan anything for this year. But then Dean, like I said, the travelling veteran, he's an ambassador for the Veterans Charity. And he comes to us and he said, look, we can't let this go. It was so good last year. We just can't let it go. Well, I think one of your friends went on it last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were funny especially when they turned up. Do you remember the old Carry On film, Carry On Up the Khyber?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they turned up on the fancy dress night. They turned up with the white hats, the kilts, and everything on. It was hilarious. Everyone just makes an effort. Everyone makes an effort. And Dean come to us and he said, look, Andy, he says, we can't let it go. We can't let it go. And I said, right, okay, what's you thinking? And he says, can we do one to Bosnia? And I'm like, well, that's certainly different. We've not done that one. And he said, yeah, but what I want to do, he says, I want to make it pretty tough. And I'm like, right, okay. And we've come up, this is now next year's, and we've come up with 12 countries in 6 days.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's 12 countries in 6 days. We're going to start it from Calais. Yeah, Ypres. And the list of this, we're going to go through France, through Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, and then into Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yeah. I've seen the route, and I'm thinking...
You've seen the route. You've seen the route. Yeah. I mean, we've got to be in Italy, I think by Wednesday. I think we've got to be in... You're going to be in Venice on the Wednesday. It's an endurance one. You're talking 5, 6 hours each day. I think the Venice one is the one where we've been kind to you. That's only a 3 hour from where we leave, because we want people to enjoy Venice. It's midweek. We want people to enjoy Venice.
I looked at it and I thought, the distances aren't massive on each one. You're talking 250 miles or it's like over the Alps.
Yeah.
We'll go into it later what I'm thinking of bringing, which is my 30-year-old Ford Frida or Mazda Bongo, whatever you want to call it. And I'm thinking, will it make it? It should do. I'd like to bring it back home.
You won't believe some of the cars that we've been told that want to come and do it.
Yeah. More than merrier.
Yeah. Well, what I also looked at as well is that we got people that sat there and said, well, look, all right, I don't want to do it in my car. I said, well, what have you got? He said, well, I've got a Harley Davidson. And I'm like, look, if you've got motorbikes, as long as there's 2 of you, for safety reasons, you can do it on a motorbike. So we've opened it up to, like I say, it can be a banger. It can be your everyday car. The car. We'd love to get some. I've reached out to Matt Armstrong, who does I've reached out to him. I've had an email back saying that he is going to drop me a message. We've said, look, and we know for a fact there's going to be people on there with camper vans. We've got people that we've had one gentleman saying, can I do it in my electric car? Full electric. And I'm like, if you want to do it, mate, but you need to seriously plan your routes for that.
I'm sure he got a really, really long extension.
Yeah. I said, some of these places that you're going to go through might not even have an electric charging point. And he is serious about doing it in his full electric car.
To be fair, it'd be quite cool.
Yeah. Unless he's going to carry a generator with him in the boot.
Kind of defeats the purpose, but yeah.
It does kind of defeat the purpose, yeah. But yeah, and what we've had this year, we hope it comes off, is that the Kitcheners, like I said, they had the men's team that did the Gibraltar one and didn't complete it with the Trabant. And then we've got the ladies' Kitcheners teams, which are the wives, who completed last year. They've both expressed that they want to do it again next year, and that will be one serious competition between them lot. Now, we hope they do it, because the lads want to try and do it in the Trabant again, but the ladies will all have already said they'll be doing it in the Freelander, because they know it gets there. So,
They hope.
hey ho,
Yeah.
they hope.
Yeah.
So it's really is the one next year. It is an endurance one. And what we looked at is we will give people the destination. We'll give you the destination of where we will be, a pub or a hotel in that evening on that particular place. But it's for you guys to do your own bookings of hotels. We will tell you where the car will be on that night. Yeah. If you want to come and join us, come down, join us, have a few drinks, we'll have a chat. It's all about the community of it. It's all about sharing the stories. What we don't want is what will happen in the first few rallies, is where some people would be seen at point A and then you wouldn't see them until they hit Gibraltar. Yeah, we changed that last year, and we made sure that every night people sort of like checked in. Yeah, because it's just welfare as well. We need to know that people are safe. If they don't want to come down to the hotel, or they're knackered, which we will expect quite a few of them, just drop us a message saying that, yeah, we've arrived, we're okay. Yeah, but we will have venues every night on the way down. And then on the Friday night when we hit, is it Friday? Bear with me 1 second. So yeah,
Zagreb?
on the Friday when we hit, in Zagreb, in Sarajevo, when we get to Sarajevo, we have already got the Hotel Holiday. It's one of the biggest hotels in the centre of Sarajevo. And we're going to have the end of the evening party there in one of the function rooms. What we're going to be saying to people is don't book that hotel at the moment, even though we're there, because we are just waiting for confirmation. But they've said that they will give anybody that's on the rally 50% off the price of the room, right? So you'll have the finishing party there. That's already been booked. But the hotel itself, inside, it's called Hotel Holiday. And that we're just in negotiations. They've preliminary said they'll give us 50% off for anybody that's involved in the rally. So it's quite a big saving. Yeah. So we did get people sitting there and saying, well, are we all, because we used to meet up in Dover and go over on the ferry. But next year, we've had a lot of people that have said, well, I don't want it. For me to go to Dover, it's actually further than, because we have Paul who lives in Torquay, and it's like he said, he can jump on at Portsmouth and go over to another one and then drive up to Calais.
So I can jump on at Newcastle, get off at Amsterdam, and then drive down to Calais.
Drive down. Yeah.
All right, it's 28 hours on the ferry, but driving-wise, it's a lot quicker.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you were to, but that's why we've said, right, no, we're not doing Dover this year. Next year, I mean, I always say this year because it just feels like it. We're not going to be doing a meet point at Dover. It's going to start in Calais, because then, like yourself, you will come from Newcastle. He's going to come from. It gives people the option to find their own way, and it's a case of then that what we tend to find is a lot of people will do the rally, and Dean is organising at the moment a few extra couple of days after the rally's finished, just for tourist side of it, just for some memorial places and things like that. If people want to stay on and do it, it's nothing to do with the rally. The rally will finish on that Friday, but that weekend he's organising some stuff afterwards. If people are, and we know of one that's actually going to drive down, because what you've got to realise, if you're taking your car, if you're not going to scrap it, you got to drive it back. Yeah. But a lot of people on the rallies, when they did the Gibraltar one, they took the time coming back. Yeah. And they made it into like a 2-week holiday, basically. So that's why we've said, look, but there is the airport is in Sarajevo anyway, so we do get people that we will tell people, because we do get them where they say, oh, well, I'm just going to scrap it when I get down there. So we will give the information of a local car dealer beforehand if some decide to scrap the vehicles and come back on the plane. Yeah, we will inform everybody as we go along, right?
I was going to ask that because it makes sense, really, to a lot of people.
Yeah. It happened a lot in Gibraltar because obviously, the airfield is literally in the town centre of Gibraltar, and we actually organised it. And I think it was about 9 teams that just went down in the bangers and left the cars there because 4 of them thought, no, they ain't even going to get back, but the others then just jumped on a plane and flew back within 4 hours. They were back on UK soil.
That just reminds me of something I've seen on YouTube, and there's a YouTuber called Auto Alex, and every now and again they'll do trips down, and they did a good one the other week where they went down to Croatia, and it was another YouTube channel that drove the cars back.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is get someone to meet me down there in my camper van. I'll fly back, and then they can drive back on their own. Or sell it to them, and then they can bring it back.
Cheating.
Yeah.
But you see, as well, I mean, if you're going to be doing it in your camper van, I can put you straight in contact with 2 teams that are doing exactly the same thing. They're doing it in camper vans. Yeah. So we would much rather say, look, Paul and, who's are doing it in their camper van, and, Sean and Nathan are doing it in theirs. Why don't the 3 of you get together
a convoy,
and do a convoy?
Yeah.
We like to try and have convoys because it's the age-old thing, isn't it? You get one car goes past, like a supercar. Oh, look at that Ferrari. But if you've got 6 or 7 quirky vehicles or 6 or 7 supercars, what's going on here? It's that attention grabber. And that's why last year, when we met up at certain places, the vehicles parked up. I mean, we had a Transit Connect, which Sean and Nathan did, and they kitted it out, and it looked like on the roof they were carrying a Gatling gun.
I remember seeing the photos and the videos of it.
You see the picture of it,
yeah.
And it looked like it was a Gatling gun, and some of the cars that were on just they grabbed people's attention, like Thunderbird 4. It grabbed people's attention. Peter and his wife, you are at Lowestoft on the Wednesday when we left. They come out in the Thunderbird costumes. So we keep it very light-hearted. We want that camaraderie, not just for the safety aspect, but we just want people to share the stories and mingle and enjoy it. It's an endurance, but you should be able to enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah. I mean, if people are thinking about it now, they're probably thinking about, if they've not looked at the Facebook page or seen your very well presented PDFs, I must admit, because I quite like them. Yeah, it's just there. I mean, I've never done anything like this before, right? What caught my eye, and I'll be honest with you, was the Bosnia bit, Sarajevo.
Yeah, we are finishing on Sniper's Alley.
Yeah, I've been down it many times.
Yeah,
first time I went down that, I didn't even.
That's where the rally will finish. We are organising. It will finish on Sniper's Alley.
And like I said, that's what. And there might be other people thinking the same as me who are listening to this, thinking, right. I've always wanted to go back there, and 1, never had a reason to. 2, kind of a bit of afraid to go back and have a look. It's like facing your demons type of thing.
You wouldn't recognise the place now.
No, I would. Where I'd want to go, I would, because it hasn't changed much. So, my idea was, me and my mate were going to do it with yous, go there, the night in Sarajevo with years and stuff like that. And then on our way back, we will be going a couple of places in Bosnia. He wants to go and see a church over in Slovakia
Well,
or wherever
this
it
is
is.
it. This is
And
what
that's
Dean
just
was.
make our way back.
Yeah, that's it. You see, this is what Dean was looking at as well, because Bosnia is very poignant to Dean as well. And he said, I'm going to be staying on for a couple of days because there's certain places that I just want to go. He says, and if I know what I'm thinking, there will be others that will probably want to go to it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, he
Definitely.
says so. This is his idea of after the rally. It's not just about Friday evening. Thanks very much. It's off. It's not about that. It's a case of that if people want to stay on, people want to do something different, by all means.
I mean, the other question I've got for you is the costs.
Right.
I know there's an entry fee, and that's got to be paid by a certain date.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to pay for their own accommodation, obviously. Christ, my van does about 20 miles a gallon. That's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be painful.
Yeah, it is. On a quick, working it out, back of my fag packet, I was looking at there and back about $1,000 in fuel, just in my van.
Ouch. But all I can say to you,
on flights.
Exactly, and all I can say to you is, when are you going to get the chance to do this again?
No, yeah, totally. So, I mean, what's the entry cost for it?
Look at it and think about what the memories you're going to make.
Yeah. So, what is the entry cost, and when's that got to be paid by?
Well, the entry cost is £400.
Is that per vehicle or per person?
Per vehicle, per team.
Yeah, per team.
So if you've got 4 people in the car, £100 each. Yeah. Now, what we look at is that people sit there and say, well, what's the £400 for? We get asked that question so many times. And basically, your entrance fee covers all the administration costs, because believe me, there is costs. We don't, just things like roller banners, doing the stuff, it all costs money. We don't get anything, I mean, it's my business, is what I do, and I do it for free. Yeah, I never make out of these rallies in any way, shape, or form. I actually lose money. But to me, it's my way of giving something back that way. Yeah. So your entrance fee is $400. Now, that, like I say, it can be it's a minimum of 2 people. We will not allow someone to do it by themselves. It's just not allowed. So it can be 1 driver and 1 passenger. That's fine. Yeah, but we do tend to find on the long hauls that it's 2 drivers. But as long as it's a minimum of 2 people. Yeah. Again, if you've got a 5-seater car and you want to try and put 5 people in it, you think about it, it's only £400 for that team. Yeah. And in that, so you've got your administration costs, you have public liability insurance included. So whilst you are on the rally, if, God forbid, you go and drive your car through some poor old lady's house, you're covered, right? So you are covered whilst you're doing the rally. Now, you're only covered between France and Bosnia. We're not going to cover, you're not covered after it. I have to make that clear, right? If you go and do it 2 days later after the rally's finished, that's down on your own insurance. Yeah. So you've got your public liability. The gentleman or lady who books, who's the lead booker, will get a polo shirt. Now, if you've seen you've seen the post I put up with the polo shirts.
Yeah.
There's polo shirts. You'll get a polo shirt with all printed up and everything. Now, that's for the lead booker. That's the one who books it. They get that with included. All the other costs, obviously, are for things like at the hotel at the end, when we've got the enders do parties. We also, everyone gets a trophy, right? So we've got the trophy costs. We've got everyone. It just covers so much. I mean, and people sit there and say, well, it's £400. Yeah, but not all of that £400 goes on administration, trophies, to Paulus. No. We're looking this year, I think we got it to £200 of that £400 actually goes into the charity pot as well, straight off.
Yeah.
Right?
And that'll
So
build
your
it up,
actual only running cost that you have to pay for us to do this is £200. Yeah? The other 200 goes straight in to the charity pot, right? And it just accumulates, and that gives us a start figure for the charity itself. Now, one of the things that's in the agreement is that what we do is it's not just about doing it for the Veterans Charity for next year. What it is we will sit there and say, right, if you want to do all your own fundraising and you want to get sponsorships, things like that for you to do the rally, that's fine. If you have your own personal charity, i.e. the RNLI, a cancer unit, or anything like that, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. What we say to you is, let's just take a figure. You raise £1,000. What we say to you is that, thank you very much. We take 50% of that £1,000, and that then also goes into the charity pot. The other 50% is if you want to donate it to a personal charity of your choice. We get some people that do for 3 charities. We always say we get 50%. Whatever you do with the other 50% is completely up to you. Right? And what we tend to find, we do get some people who will just say, no, I want to give all mine to the Veterans Charity set. Yeah, that's fine. We just ask for a minimum of 50% whatever you raise. Now, when you sign up, you also included in the cost of the 400 is you will get 2 large Veteran Honour Rally Bosnia or Bust logos that you will put on your car. You will get 4 smaller ones that will go on your car. You will get a sponsorship packs from the main sponsors that we get from who sponsor the rally. We've already got 1, 2, 3 sponsors that have come on board. So we asked, so you get a sticker pack as well to decorate your car. And what we have said is people sat there and waited on one last year. He says, mate, I'm doing it in my brand new car. And I said, right, mate, I'll do you a metallic one. So it's a magnetic. So you can literally, the magnetics.
Yeah, put it on, peel it off later.
Put it on, and then peel it off, and ready for the, whatever. And that went down a storm. So we will do magnetics as well for you if you're doing it in your personal car.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, we will do magnetics for you. But we have got one who I did a big Winston Churchill on the back of his van, and he's still to this day got all the graphics and the stickers on from last year to this day. And he just says, I won't take them off. He wants to cover the whole Vivaro in all the rally stickers as he's going over through the years. Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's not a bad shot. Yeah. Covers the rust up.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I said. There's only so much I can do.
If people are worried about, I know in my mind, I hinted at earlier, I don't know if it's a 30-year-old van, whether it'd actually make it or not. Breakdown cover, stuff like that. People who participate have got to ensure that they've got breakdown cover.
Yes. Yeah.
The charity,
we will.
Yous aren't responsible. That's what I'm saying.
No, we're not responsible for your breakdown cover or anything like that. We look at it that people that are doing these rallies should be pretty clued up on knowing, and that it's a case of we shouldn't need to mother you. Yeah, you should do your homework, right? We will Dean's looking at it now, and we will put up certain countries. You can't bit your horn between a certain time. You can't do this. We will put all that information up there of what each country's sort of like road regulations are. Yeah, we will put that up. We'll give you as much information as possible. But we're not going to be held responsible. Could you imagine if 3 cars break down, they haven't got cover? That could cost, I don't know, £500, £2,000 to get it back home. That's not down to us. Make sure you've got your European cover. Make sure you're insured to drive in Europe. Yeah, that's a big one that people tend to forget. I can drive. But can you actually drive in Europe with your insurance? Yeah. Do your homework, right? You are responsible for your vehicle, yeah, on that rally, not us. Yeah, you are responsible. We've got the public liability in place there, which does cover for Europe. And if anybody wants a copy of it, we're more than happy just to send somebody a copy and say, right, you look for it's all the black and white. I think it's £1 million or £2 million. I might even be wrong. I know Michelle was sorting it, and I'm sure she said 5 million. Yeah. So we do provide the cover whilst you're on the rally, but that is public liability, not breakdown.
Not breakdown and not vehicle insurance.
Yeah. And another one, what we tend to say as well on the foreign rallies is be careful of some of the European bars, right? Because we did have an incident one year in Gibraltar, not in Gibraltar, but in one of the, I think it was in Pau. A couple of the lads went out for a drink, and they tend to offer these a tab, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Oh yes, I know.
Yes. Yeah. So you know exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, right, yeah, okay. So they had this. But what was going on was the people that were in the pub who live in the village or the town popped on, put it on his tab. And by the time they'd finished and went to the bar, there was literally nearly a £900 tab. And it was like, that's not ours. And they were like, well, it's on your tab. So be aware of what's going on. Just be sensible. Take it as you see it. So yeah, I mean, it's one of them where if anybody has a question, the Facebook group, drop it on there, and we will answer it to the best of our ability. We want you to enjoy the rally as much as taking part in it. You've got to, but just be sensible. That's all. And over the years, the amount of times I've had to say this to people: look, the information's there. Read it. Oh, well, I didn't read it. But come on. You're 57-year-old. So just it don't take you 2 minutes.
No, I mean the other thing is, stuff like this, doing a video, little clips, put it on social media, put it on TikTok and stuff like that, advertising it. I'm just putting the advice like on little clips like that as well.
Yeah,
it gets out there, gets people thinking.
Yeah, this is what we'll do. I mean, if you look at the PDF that we've put up, it explains every day. It tells people where we are every day. Yeah, there might be. I mean, Dean has gone even one step further, and he's put the what 3 words.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's quite clever, actually.
Yeah, he's put. I mean, you're talking within a 2 meter square. And that's what I'm saying. We've put the what 3 words on because we do get people again. Well, I didn't know where you were. Well, it's on there.
Yeah, it's human nature, though, isn't it? It is human nature.
Of course it is.
I mean, the other thing you mentioned earlier about going in convoys with groups and stuff like that. So we might end up with, say, 5 camper vans want to go or more or whatever. And we can get on the Facebook group and say, right, well, where are you going to camp that night? Where are you going to do it that night? Are we just sleeping in a street, stuff like that? Bounce ideas off each other that way.
Yeah, because what I put on the Facebook group, if you read it, is that this group is not just for us to give you the information.
Yeah, no.
The group
it's got to be a two-way street.
You guys to speak to each other as it's going along and to talk to people. Tell us what vehicles you're using. Talk to each other beforehand. Use the group for yourselves. It is a closed group. It's only the people that are on there for the reason of the rally. Yeah. So it is a closed group. Yeah. And we just sit there and say, look, get to know people, speak to people. One thing that we do on the rallies is there is challenges, right? We'll just touch on that now. There is challenges. So last year, Michelle came up with some absolute brilliant ones. And one of them is we went, I think, where was it? Yeah, it was when we left the Arboretum to go to Skegness. And you had to get something from somewhere that was a forest, but not a forest. Now, you're going from the Arboretum to Skegness.
So nipping the
There we go. So everybody, all these rally cars, turned up at Nottingham Forest football ground. Yeah. And people were coming with a forest scarf and things like that. And if they completed the challenges as we set them, you earn points, right? And we have several categories at the end of the day. So as you go on through the week, you earn these points, and we have what's called the Queen Elizabeth Cup. Now, this is the lowest off ladies have got it at the moment. And you earn it through fundraising on the week. You earn points through the challenges on the week. Like one of them, a Dean again. I mean, the video's out there. It's so funny. He didn't go to Nottingham Forest, but apparently HP sauce is made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he turned up with his bottle of HP sauce. And the challenge was you had to wear the forest or something to do with, obviously, Nottingham. And he comes in with his bottle of HP brown sauce. And she goes, right, okay. And she says, but you've got to be wearing it. No more of a do. Bang. Right in his face. He says, I'm wearing it now. He got extra points. Because of he got extra points.
Yeah, you've got to make it fun. You've got to make it enjoyable for people, to want to do it as well. I mean, everyone's going to have their own reason and probably pick their own charity to do it. I imagine when it gets out there a bit more, that you might get a few people doing it for the reason I want to do it, which is going back to see the place and stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
So when's the closing date for entries?
The actual closing date, final. What we do is, at the moment, what we said to people is look, we're before Christmas. We're 5 weeks away. At the moment, if you want a specific number, because there's a lot of people that have battalion numbers, regimental numbers. If you want a specific number, £100 secures your place. And if the number's available, we will allocate that number that you want. Right? And that £100 is then, but it secures your spot. Now, we've had quite a few sign up already. Yeah. So you can pay £100 deposit right now, or you can pay the full amount right now if you want, of the £400. That's fine. But the actual final payment of that £400 has to be in by the 1st of August next year. So if you can't do £400 by the 1st of August next year, we try to say to people, look, do your deposit, because at least then, we do get a couple that leave it right to the last minute, and then they go, can I pay me money? Sorry, mate, we've got no places left, yeah? Because what you've got to realise, there's only me, Michelle, who is in Birmingham. She'll call me for calling it Birmingham, Staffordshire. And then we've got Dean. And now there's only the three of us. And for safety reasons, we can't just have hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. We couldn't manage it. So we have a limitation. right? We're looking that the most would be 75 vehicles, right? So
I mean,
that
that's
gives us
still a hell of a lot.
It is a lot, because if you think about it, 75 people with a minimum of 2 people in it, that's 150 people,
That's a lot of broken
right?
down cars in Europe.
That's a yeah, that's just the thing, you see. So we've got to be able to manage it as well on our side and the safety side. Yeah. So what we say to people is look, get your £100 in, reserve your spot, and then at least you then know that you've got until next August to get the rest of the money and get yourself, you've got your spot. Yeah. Because we've got a gentleman that's inquired, and he's actually put it out to about 5 veteran motorbike clubs. Now, you imagine they come and say, well, we want 50 spots, done. Yeah? Hopefully not. But you know what I mean. We can't turn, it's a first
Can't
come,
turn
first
people
serve.
away, but you have to in the end.
We have to in the end. We've said we will be comfortable with 75. And what we're saying is that if all 75 go, then you would have to go on a reserve list if someone drops out, and be ready to go that last minute. We give you at least 2-3 weeks. 1st of August, if someone's not paid it all, the place has gone, sorry, that gentleman's not paid by the 1st of August. Can you do it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes we have to be brutal. We've got to be.
No, you have to. You've got to draw that line. You can't. You start stretching it. And when does
Yeah.
when do you stop?
When do you call it enough? Exactly. When do you call it enough? So it's like anything else. Get in early. Get yourself secured. We've got a gentleman called Michael Mortimer, and he was like, and I said, look, he said, can you somebody give me a reason to do it? And I went, right, when are you going to get the chance to do it? Think about the memories you're going to have doing it. And he's doing it with 2 of his old veteran buddies. And I said, get on with it, sign up. And I think within about an hour, bang, he'd done it. He said, yep, that's it, convinced, I'm doing it. Bang, signed up. So we hate having to say to someone, sorry, we've got no spaces. We just hate doing it. But we've got to be safe with it.
Well, before we go, because we've come up to the hour there,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone who's never done it before? Right. I've never done like me. I've never done a rally. The thought of it, I'm really looking forward to the thought of it, or looking forward to it. But it's like me bum holes going 50 pence, 5 pence, thinking of everything that can go wrong. And I'm one of them people who thinks, I want to do that, and then finds a way to talk yourself out of it. How do you stop doing that? One, how do you stop people doing that, which you just answered anyway? But what advice would you give to someone who's never done it before?
Right. If you've never done one of these rallies before, look at it as the fact that it's not a competition. It's never a competition. Look at the fact of, like I said to you, the memories. Yeah. The countries you're going to be going through. Where are you going to get the time again to go through 12 countries in 6 days? Yeah. What about looking at it in the sense of do your homework? Work your costings out first. Look to see whether or not you can afford to do it. Look at, like you said, people look at what is the worst case scenario do I have to deal with if something goes wrong. Yeah. We have it where when people brought down, we never leave anybody behind. If we can squeeze somebody into another car that's in the area, we'll put you in that other car. Nobody's ever been left behind on one of our rallies. Yeah. We've had people that brought down, and 2 Remy lads actually jumped in the car. They'd already got to the destination. They actually drove 3 hours back to rescue these 2 lads, and then drove another 3 hours back to that destination that night. And then got up the following morning and carried on and and they all went to the next destination.
That's what
So,
about. It's about the team, isn't it?
yeah, we look at it as the camaraderie. We're all there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to try and raise as much as we can for the charities, i.e. it's not just about the veterans charity, it's your personal charity as well. Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned in the PDF about a crowdfunding page or Just Giving page.
Yeah.
You have to have one of them as well.
You have to have a Just Giving page, because basically what we're saying to you is look, if you've got a Just Giving page, we can all see what everybody's raising, and we know then, for us as an administration side, when we close it, you're given 4 weeks after the rally finishes to collect money in, because some people have sponsorship forms, things like that. What we say is pay it into your Just Giving page, because then it's not a case of us snooping on you. Do not take that wrong. It's just easier administration management for us to say, right, you've raised 1,500 quid. You know you've got to give us the 750.
Do you get where people say like the Just Giving page, they raise money on that, and they're actually, do you get it where they use that money to participate in the rally as well, like help pay for accommodation, food?
No,
it's not used in that way.
No, the Just Giving pages are not used for, well, all right, I've made £1,000, but I've got to take £900 out for expenses. No, your Just Giving pages are what you've raised for charity wise. Yeah. So it's all transparent then. And then we don't get someone sitting there and saying, well, I saw him put like 100 quid in that bucket, that guy. You know what I mean? It's just a transparency of it, that's all. We're not snooping on you. It's just a case of we need to get it right and get the figures right at the end of the day. Yeah, because it's all about. But the rallies are meant for enjoyment. The places that, if you read the PDF and look at the places that we've come up with, you're going to see some spectacular places. Oh, yeah, you're not going to get that. Again, like yourself, Bosnia has personal meaning to you. Yeah. So just enjoy the rally, join the rally, have a laugh. There is competitions, there is prizes. You'll get your trophy. It's the memories of it. And I don't know, maybe we're looking at 2027. That one we might do, we've looked at it and we're calling it A Bridge Too Far. And then that one, you'll finish the rally going over Hounour Bridge.
No, that'll be a cool one. That'll be cool.
Yeah, it's not just about Bosnia, Afghanistan, Iraq. We're also looking, it's World War II, World War One. Yeah, and it's one of them, but it's the fact that you just come on and enjoy it. Yeah, have that lifetime experience. I don't know how much I can say about it, in the sense that just do it to experience it.
Yeah, and that's what we should be doing, and that's what I'll be looking at doing. Right, it's been an hour. I think I've bent your ear enough, and I don't want to get you bored.
Probably bent yours enough.
No, don't.
But what I will say is that the Facebook page is called the Veterans Honour Rally. We do have an email address, but if you come onto the Veterans Honour Rally, it is a closed group. There is a couple of questions that you just need to answer, and it's a case of get on there. Even if it's not for you, get on there, look at it, speak to people, and see what it's about. There is on the page as well. Dean's put up when he did the Gibraltar one as a contestant. He's got his videos on there showing people what it's about.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah, watch them.
Yeah,
it gives you that insight in what it's about.
Right.
Right.
Okay, then Andy. Oh, go on.
I hope we see you signing up.
Sorry.
I hope we see you signing up.
I don't see why not. I'll let you know very soon, and I'll break down in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, new tyres in.
So out of the 12 countries, how many do you think you're breaking down in 11 of them?
Well, I'll be more impressed if I get to Calais, to be honest. You know, I mean, we might have to be pushing it.
Yeah, just get into Calais.
I'll just see who's got the strongest van and tie a tow rope to the back of it.
We've done that before now. Don't think we haven't.
Right, Andy, thanks for coming on and explaining all about it.
Thank you very much.
It's been brilliant.
Been a pleasure. Sorry, I've probably bent everybody's ear.
No, that's what it's all about. Let people know what's happening.
Yeah. Get on there and give it a go.
Right.
Thanks very much, pal.
Thanks very much, pal. Cheers then. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.